everybody, welcome back to your science lesson with me, Mrs. Davis. I hope you are well. Today we are going to carry on learning about plants, and but to start off with, as always, we're just going to oh, wrong one. There we go. We're just going to have a go at first of all, collecting what we need. So again, you will need a pen or a pencil, paper and exercise book. Okay. If you need to pause the video to collect those things, please do. And then, as always, I've got a little challenge for you to start us off and to get our science brains kicked in. So I'd like you to make a table like this one with two headings, please. So we've got living and non-living. So if you could just pause the video to create a table on a piece of paper or in your exercise book, just one side living, the other side non-living. Pause the video now for me. Welcome back. Brilliant. Fantastic job. So you should have a table that looks like this. Okay. Now down the side here, you've got a list of all different things that I would like you to put in under each of your headings, either of living or non-living. So we've got a knife and fork. We've got a fish, a laptop, a pig, a tree, a key, cotton, newspaper, ladybug, and flower. So all you've got to do is put them into the correct headings for me. Pause the video now and have a go. Fantastic job, guys. Well done. Okay, shall we have a look and see what the answers are? Okay, so hopefully your table looks a little bit like this one. So we've got living. You should have in there a fish, a pig, a tree, a ladybug, and a flower. In the non-living, you could have a knife and fork, laptop, key, cotton, and newspaper. Now, two of these non-living things, though, in this column here, were actually made out of living things. Can you work out which ones? Which ones actually were made from things that were living? They're not living now, but they were living. It was, one of them is the newspaper, because actually paper is made from trees, and trees, we know, are living things. And also the cotton. Okay, cotton actually is made from a cotton plant. Okay, so again, it's a plant that's a living thing. And from that, it's actually that cotton is made. So when maybe you, apart from your clothes and things like that, it was actually made from the plant was actually a living thing. So there we go. Brilliant job on that. So for today we are looking at what plants need to grow and be healthy. All right, so now our vocabulary, I'm just going to introduce to you some words that we're then going to speak through about. So basically, we're looking at life processes, and we're looking at all of these. Now, these can be remembered in a nice little acronym called Mrs. Gren. Okay, now Mrs. Gren stands for each thing. So we've got movement, we've got respiration, we've got sensitivity, we've got growth, we've got reproduction, excretion, and nutrients. Okay, so let's have a look. And there you see, this is how I imagine Mrs. Gren to be, all to do with nature. There's my Mrs. Gren. Let's have a look going through each one. So movement, I'm sure you all understand what a bit of movement is. I'm sure you do lots of moving yourself, okay? But all living things, including plants, move. All right, so animals move around to get from place to place. Plants grow and turn towards the light. Respiration, so all living things respire. Now respire, so all living things release energy from their food by respiration. Most organisms, so basically things that are living things, organisms, need oxygen to do this, okay? So we talk about oxygen. Plants don't though, sorry. Plants need carbon dioxide. So we've got sensitivity. All living things are sensitive. Every living thing can detect changes in their surroundings. Growth. All living things grow. Animals grow from babies to adults. Seeds grow into plants. We learned about that yesterday. Reproduction. All living things reproduce. Animals have young. So when we did last week about animals and their young, their offspring. Plants produce seeds from which more plants will grow. Again, we looked at that yesterday with our life cycles. Excretion, right? All living things excrete. So waste products are removed from our body. Okay, both plants and animals have to get rid of excess gas and water. So we spoke about again this yesterday, I think, where we talked about how we get rid of animals and humans get rid of waste. So do plants. They get rid of excess water and gas through their leaves. Nutrients. All living things need nutrition. Okay, animals eat food in order to get nutrients, whereas plants produce their own food by turning sunlight into energy. And this is a big word here. Let's do it together. It's called photosynthesis. Can you say that with me? Photosynthesis. So, does a plant need water, soil, sun, and air to grow? Now, in a minute, we're going to watch a video where a comparative test was completed. In a comparative test, you look at things closely to see what is the same and what's different. So when you compare something, you look at what's the same and what's different, and that's what a comparative test is. Now, it will ask you in the video, it's doing a little experiment in the video, and it will ask you to make a prediction. Now, a prediction is what you think will happen. We don't just guess with a prediction. We use our knowledge of the things we already know and work from that. So it's not just like a guess, a prediction. A prediction is something that we think, oh, okay, I predict that because of this. So I'll give you an example. I predict that the plants will need water, soil, sun, and air to grow, because plants are living things, I know that, and need all these things to grow successfully, to grow well, to be healthy. So I'm just going to stop sharing that for a minute. Okay, and actually I'm now going to get the video up for you so we can have a watch together, all right? Now, it will ask you, like I say, to maybe stop and pause at times, which obviously please do.
Every living animal needs to eat to make sure they're healthy and stay alive.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Aren't plants living?
Yes.
So why don't we feed them popcorn or other food? Don't they need energy and nutrients to grow too?
Well, yes, but we don't need to feed them popcorn because they make their own food.
They can?
Yep.
How?
Well, let's get our thinking caps on and perform an experiment to see what ingredients plants need to make their own food and grow well.
So what will we need?
You'll need seeds or dried beans, soil, cotton balls, or both, 6 mason jars, or see-through glass or plastic cups, and some water. 2 lids for your jars, or if you're using cups, plastic wrap, and tape. Begin by putting some soil into 4 of your mason jars. Next, stuff 2 of your jars with cotton balls. The goal is to have about the same amount of soil and cotton in each jar. Next, you'll get your bean and gently place it between the jar and the cotton balls or soil so that you can see the growth of the bean through the clear container. It's better to place more than 1 bean in each jar, just in case one of them is a dud. Try to place your seed about a thumb's width from the top of the soil. Now you will need to water the soil and the cotton balls until they are damp, but not too wet. Repeat with each of the jars. Place a lid on top of 2 of the containers with soil. If you're using plastic cups that don't have lids, then you can seal them with plastic wrap and tape. We will place half of the jars in the sun and half of the jars in the closet.
Don't forget to water the plants if the soil or cotton balls become dry.
My question is, will our seeds grow well if they don't have everything? Soil, sun, air, and water? What do you think? During the music, make your prediction.
What do you notice? This is day 7. What do you notice? Let's return to our original question.
Do plants need water, soil, sun, air to grow well? What did our plants show us?
We watered all of our plants, and all of them at least sprouted. So yes, water was important. Check. What about soil? We noticed that the plants in the soil and the cotton all sprouted and began to grow roots. But after that, the plants in the soil took off and grew stems and leaves. It's one thing to sprout because the bean provides energy itself. After that, the soil is important and provides the nutrients the plants need to continue growing well. Does it need soil to grow well? It sure does. Check. What about sun? As we can see with the plants in the closet, they still grew even without any sun. In fact, the plants in the closet, in the soil, grew so tall so quickly because they were searching for the sun. Except in this case, it was in the closet, so there was not any light for it to find. But it still kept growing.
So they grow well without the sun?
Well, wait a second. Did you notice that they were white and not green?
Yeah, but they still grew.
Yes, but not the best that they can be. If you look at the plant on the windowsill, which did get sunlight, it didn't grow as tall, but its stems and leaves grew green.
So the sun makes plants green?
Yes, in a way. What happens is light is an important part of photosynthesis, which is the process plants use to create sugar, which is their food. During photosynthesis, chlorophyll in the plant's leaves captures the sun rays and creates sugar, the plant's energy, which then allows the plant to grow. You know chlorophyll is present when the leaves and stems are green.
So in the closet with the white plant, the chlorophyll wasn't working?
Eureka! You are bright, just like the sun. So if the plant is white, it means that photosynthesis is not working and the plant is not creating its own food. So it won't survive for very long.
Which means that the plants need sun to be healthy. Check!
What about air? In the jar with the lid on it, the beans barely sprouted and then did not grow. So it is clear that they are not healthy. But why? Let's see. All around us is air. And in our air, we have carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is a key ingredient in photosynthesis. So the plants in the open air use the carbon dioxide to carry out photosynthesis. But the plants in the jars with lids, even in the sun, had no new supply of air, and therefore not enough carbon dioxide to carry out photosynthesis. And if a plant can't do photosynthesis, it can't produce its own food, and it can't grow. So once again, air, more importantly carbon dioxide, is important.
Check! So to put it all together, plants need water, soil, sun, and carbon dioxide to grow and be healthy.
Now, my friends, it is your turn. What happens if you take the sprouted closet plant to the window? Will it turn green? What happens if you take the sprouted window plant and put it in the closet? Or if you keep observing the plants for 2 weeks? Do they keep growing? So you don't miss any episodes, make sure to subscribe.
Until next
Okay. Well done, guys. Brilliant job there. So I hope that you sort of saw what happened there with some of the plants that they were talking about. Just remember, I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen for the PowerPoint. Was your prediction correct? Did you predict that plants would need water, sun, soil, and air? Okay, and if so, well done. So what I'd like you to have a go at now, okay, is we're going to answer this big question. Does a plant need water, soil, sun, and air to grow? was my prediction was correct or incorrect? So you could write if you did say that, yes, you thought they did need water, sun, soil, and air to grow, you could write that your prediction was correct. If maybe you didn't, and you said, I think that it needs water, sun, and maybe air to grow, then you might want to say my prediction was incorrect because I didn't say that it needed soil. Okay, so you'd need to have a go at that, because remember, within that video, it showed us, didn't it, that actually a plant does definitely, they all needed water. The ones that were growing in the cotton, although they sort of sprouted, they didn't grow any leaves, did they? So they sort of stopped growing. So they needed that soil for the nutrients in there. They definitely needed sun, didn't they? What happened to the ones that was in the soil, but was in the cupboard, that was in the dark? Yeah, it grew, didn't it? But it wasn't green. And we needed that important green element, didn't we? Because actually plants need that so it can undertake photosynthesis. Now, there was a lot of information there, guys, but basically all photosynthesis is a plant's way of making its own food. Okay, so if it doesn't have the sun, it can't make its own food. It also needs air to make its own food because it needs its carbon dioxide. So plants take in carbon dioxide, okay, which is a gas like oxygen. So it's in the air around us. So they take in carbon dioxide. So they also need that carbon dioxide, don't they? So that it can grow. So it can grow its own. It can make its own food as well. So a plant does need water, soil, sun, and air to grow. And I know this because I would like you to pause the video now, please. And in your book, write out my prediction was correct or incorrect, whichever one yours was. And then underneath, I would like you a plant does need water, soil, sun, and air to grow. And I know this because now maybe you'll want to draw a picture of the experiment. Okay, so you'll want to show the difference of maybe what happened with the ones that had the lid on, which stopped the air from getting in. They didn't grow, did they? They just sprouted, but that was it. What happened to the ones, like we just said, that were in the sun that weren't in the sun? What happened to the cotton? We said again, didn't we? The cotton it grew, but it didn't get any leaves or any flowers or anything. It just stopped growing, didn't it? So it just sprouted and that was it. Okay, and then they all had water. So you need to just either you can explain and you can draw a diagram. You can draw a diagram and label them, or you can just explain. So pause the video now and have a go at writing out why you know a plant needs water, soil, sun, and air to grow. Welcome back, guys. Fantastic job. I hope that you have managed to get that down. And like I say, maybe you've also included a diagram, which is basically a picture. It's a special word we use in science when we're talking about a picture, that maybe we've drawn a diagram and we label that as well. So that would be wonderful. Right. Brilliant. Well done again for all your super hard work today. A fantastic job. Remember, those really important things that a plant needs to grow healthy is water, soil, sun, and air, carbon dioxide. So it needs those 4 things. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.